Hi, this is Natraj from Market Profile Wizards. I welcome all of you on behalf of Market Profile Wizards for Market Profile, a simple way to successful trading. And now this question is for all of you. How many of you want to make money consistently and in a long run in market? Many of you said yes. I would like to congratulate all of you for being in the right webinar today. We are going to learn many concepts in this webinar regarding market profile and the overall market concepts itself. When I started my trading, the problem was I was thinking like I know everything about the market. But when I met my mentor, a simple question from him is, Natraj, do you want to make money in the market or do you want to know everything about the market or market profile itself? The same question I asked to all of you. Do you want to make money in the market or do you want to know everything about the market profile? If your choice is to make money, then you are in the right track. I was also thinking knowing everything about the market, knowing everything about the concepts makes money or gives the money for me. That concept was completely wrong. As a human being, our first or primary tendency is to think towards being right. In market, it is not how many times you being right, but when you are right, how much money you made. When you are wrong, how much money you lose. That is very important in the market. Shortly, we are going to discuss about that concept. Once again, welcome all of you for Market Profile, a simple way to successful trading. Let me introduce about myself. I am Natraj. I am a full-time Nifty trader. I've been into markets from last 7.5 years. Initial days, I was a positional trader. From last 2 years, I'm completely working on intraday trading, and that too from last 2 years, completely I'm working on market profile concept. I use market profile, volume spike analysis, and price auction process to take my intraday trades. Well, let's begin. Wherever I go, people says trading in stock market is not my cup of tea. Let us see some examples. We got 90 points, a beautiful uptrend move in Nifty. It's a 90 points movement. Let's say if you are buying at 11,620 level and you are selling at 11,680, let's say 11,680 itself, that means it comes around 60 points. A lot size of Nifty is 75. In the sense, 4,500 to 5,000 rupees by one lot, trading from 620 to 680. If you bought at 620, if you sell at 680, will it give money for you or not? Great. Let's say another example. Last Friday, we got a very good move in the open itself from 11,710 level to up to 11,790. That means almost 80 points movement in a just half an hour. If you bought at this level, if you sell at this level, will you be in profit or not? Definitely will be in profit. Let's see another example of last month. We got a very good up move from 515 level to 580 level. That means approximately 75 points. If you bought at this level, if you sold at this level, will you be in profit or not? Definitely profit, right? Why I am showing this example is people only says trading is not their cup of tea, but market is moving up and down every day. So if you bought at low, if you sold at high, definitely you will be in a profit. What happening here is we are unable to capture this move, or we don't have skill to capture this move. That is the reality, and people are not recognizing that, and they are losing money from the decades. Before understanding what is market profile, we need to understand what market profile is not. So there are indicators. By the way, how many of you use indicators here to trade? Correct. So market profile is not an indicator in the sense that indicates or that gives a signals for to take some actions, like say in market to buy or to sell, it gives the signal. Market profile is not the indicator. Next comes strategy. Definitely market profile is not the strategy. Strategy includes, it's a set of rules to buy or set of rules to enter into the market or exit from the market or stop loss, everything. So all this comes under strategy. Definitely market profile is not a strategy. Then what market profile is? For this question, we need to understand about the market first. So many of us deal with many markets, like let's say for example for Bangaloreans KR market. So many markets are there. Stock market is also similar to the same markets. My question to all of you, what is the purpose of marketplace? You can answer me by using the chat option. Great. Let me simplify it. The only purpose of market is to facilitate the trade. What facilitation is all about? There are bunch of buyers and there are bunch of sellers who want to deal or who want to make business for their goods and services. They meet buyers and sellers in this place and they trade with each other. So that is the purpose of market. Let's say we have a product of iPhone here and iPlanet. In this example, iPlanet is the seller or who is offering the product. And there are bunch of buyers who are ready to buy the iPhone from iPlanet. Let's say buyer starts thinking that iPhone price is too high. So in that case, generally buyers refrains from buying. They don't want to buy at the higher price. In that scenario, think if there is no buyer is ready to buy at the present offered price. iPlanet is offering a product called iPhone and buyer is thinking price is too high and he is refraining from buying. Think if there is no buyer is ready to take at the present offered price, what will happen? Definitely sellers or the whoever offering the product has to move the price, move the price to lower levels to attract the buyers. So in that case, seller moves price lowers or starts advertising lower price for the product until the buyers responds by purchasing. Clear? Now think if seller moves price too low, what will happen if the seller moves price too low? Great. Buyers takes an advantage and starts aggressive buying, right? So when the product is available at the cheaper rate, definitely buyers takes that advantage and starts aggressive buying. Finally, price will balance between two extremes where value is established. I will simplify it. At the end of any transaction, so there is a two extremes. One is the high, another one is the low, and between them the value will be established. So value will be established within the extremes. Now the marketplace facilitate trade with a dual auction process. This is very important. Dual auction process. Basically the market auctions up until there are no more buyers. Then it reverses and moves down until there are no more sellers. That means the end of an up auction is the beginning of a down auction and the end of a down auction is the beginning of up auction. Now we need to understand there are two major participants in the market, in stock market. Basically, first one is a day time frame. That means a short-term traders, and other one is other time frames. So short-term traders, these two type of participant has their own objective in the markets. Let's see what their objective is. Short-term traders look for fair price because he has to trade today. Since fair price is acceptable to buyers and sellers, these time frames do trade with each other at the same time and at the same price. Coming to other time frame traders, that means a long-term traders, we can say it is a smart money. look for advantageous price. He can wait for an advantageous price because he doesn't have to trade today. Since long-term traders' objectives are different from, they don't trade with other long-term traders at the same time and same price. I will repeat it. This is very important. Since long-term traders' objectives are different, they don't trade with other long-term trader at the same time and the same price. That means there is a long-term buyer and there is a long-term seller. They don't trade with each other. So in between them, there are a short-term traders who gives or who provides the liquidity for a long-term traders. Our focus is always on the OTFs, what OTFs are doing, because in pursuing his interests, he is responsible for the way the day's range develops or the day movement happens, and for the length of time a longer term trends lasts. Now, the very important question to all of you, what is the difference between price and the value? So this is a very important question to all of you. What is price and what is value? What is price and what is the value? Or what is the difference between these two dimensions? Why this question is important is these two dimensions are very important in any transaction. No matter it is trading or a general transaction. So price and the value is very important. Well, there are many answers for this question. Let me simplify it by giving an example. Let me take an example of an apple here. In the past 1 month, considering overall the transaction of apple per kg, a lowest price was 80 rupees and the highest price was 100 rupees. This is an example here. And as per our understanding, between these two extremes, there is a value area. Right? I will repeat it. 80 rupees is the lowest price that is traded for the apple in the last 1 month, and 100 rupees is the highest price. Between these two extremes, there is a value area. Now, we can say it as a high and this is low. In the concept of market profile, this is a market profile chart that you are seeing now. What happening here is the overall the day activities. What we are seeing is an A, B, C, D. These we will call it as a TPO, time price opportunities. Generally, this indicates an activity of a market. So we have 13 sessions in our market as of now, because it's a 6.5 hour market. We have 13 sessions up till M. In this, what happening is it is distributing, basically it is collecting the data as market trades, and those data it is plotting in the shape of bell-shaped curve. So when this happens, there is two extremes here. One is high and one is low. If you take any day, there is a high, there is a low. Between them, the area called is a value. What happening in market profile is the concept of market profile. If you can recall the concept of 1 SD, 2 SD, two standard deviations. In this, we are calculating a 2 SD, 2 standard deviation, that is a 70%. Generally, it is a 68%, but we consider in market profile as 70%. So the maximum 70% of the activity area is called a value area in terms of market profile, and the high price of that value is called a value area high, and low price of that value is called a value area low. Simple. So once you know the value, earlier you used to trade the price, now you know the value of the market. I mean, for that day, what the value is. That means what is the acceptance of that particular day or that particular transactions or the activity of that particular day. So once we got the value, we know, let's say, for example, if you want to be a buyer in the market, now you know the value here in the Apple case. If you want to buy, at what price you would like to buy in the market now? Great. Suppose if you want to sell the market, what price is actually good for you to sell in the market? Considering Apple example. Brilliant. 100 rupees. So once we know the value, we know how to trade the price. Without knowing the value, you can't trade the price. If you trade the price without knowing the value, also it becomes a gambling, or you don't know anything in the market. Simple. So once for example, let's take an example of an apple itself. We know the value of apple is 80 to 100. If you want to buy the apple above 100 rupees, then what should happen in the market? Definitely, if Apple has the demand, then only you will buy above the 100 rupees, or else there is no meaning to buy the Apple above the 100 rupees, because the high of that particular product is itself 100 rupees. Similarly, if you want to sell the Apple below the 80 rupees, in the sense, what exactly happening in the market? Definitely, the supply is more, demand is less. That's why you are selling the product in the lower prices. It's as simple as that. So what we have learned as of now is called a responsive trading as per the concept of market profile. That means you are responding to the lower prices as a buyer, and you are responding to the higher prices as a seller. That means you are buying at low and selling at high. Based on what you are saying it as a low, based on the transaction happened in the history, you are considering the overall 70% of the activity happened in that particular day, and you are getting the value by the market profile calculation. And whenever price reaches value area low, you are buying it, and whenever price reaches to value area high, you are selling it. This activity or this trading is called a responsive trading. Now, in the same pace, let's say if the demand is more for the Apple, definitely people will accept to buy the Apple above the 100 rupees. That means they start buying above the 100 rupees, and Apple price may reach 150 to 200 rupees, and eventually the value area will be shifted to the higher prices, because there is a demand, right? That concept is very important. Similarly, if there is no demand, there is only supply, in the sense there is no demand in the market for the Apple, in that scenario people or the sellers start to sell the product below the value area low, and that results in migration of this value area to the lower prices. That means the demand is decreasing and the supply is increasing. That is the concept. So that we call it as an initiative activity. Suppose if you are buying, the moment market opened above value area high, that means the sentiment in the market is bullish, and if you are buying above the value, that itself is the initiative buying activity. If you are selling below the value, is called a initiative selling activity. That means price is looking for the better value or the new value. Now we are clear with the concept of initiative and responsive activity, and we know the difference between price and the value. Let's see some of the examples in the market how these concepts work. This is the Nifty 15-minute chart. We can see on the 27th August a massive up move from 610 level to almost a 95-point movement in a single trend on a single day. That means if you are in one lot also, you would have made 8,000 to 9,000 rupees in one lot. Here there are three lines are available here. One is the red line indicates the value area high. The green line indicates the POC, point of control. This is the line where maximum number of activity happened on that particular day. And now this line, the sky blue line, is indicates a value area low. Now you know what is value area high, value area low, and POC is the price level where maximum number of activity happened on that particular day. And on 27th August, market opened above the value and traded in a single direction throughout the day. So once we understood the basics of market profile, now we are moving into the building blocks of market profile. The listed parameters are important building blocks of market profile, which will be discussed and explained in the next lesson. So there are several building blocks. Based on that, the entire market profile concepts is depending upon, and based on that, the construction of the market profile happens. So first we'll understand the open. This is the basic building blocks of market profile. So open plays a very important role in intraday trading. So we will see what is the open. You can see the market profile chart here. So this is how the market profile chart looks like, and in this you can see there is a O that is separately mentioned. So this particular TPO, we can call it, we will call it as a TPO that we will discuss in the next coming session. So this particular area is called as open. So the open price or the open range of the market. And now comes the important subject or important building blocks of the market profile, that is TPO. So this is very important. Based on this, the entire market profile construct. So we'll understand the TPO now. TPO is nothing but the time, price and opportunity. So as we mentioned here, all TPO. So whatever you are seeing here, the letters ABC is nothing but a TPO. In this the one simple I is called a TPO, ITPO, ATPO. So like that. So there will be based on the session, so that I will explain you later. So entire the individual letter is called a TPO, time, price, opportunity, because it indicates at what time, at what price the opportunity exists. So that you will understand in the later sessions. First we'll understand the basic. The TPO means the individual letter, and all letters in images represent TPOs, and TPO represents the market activity. This is very important. Any activity without there is a market activity, so there will be no print of TPO. So if TPO is there, market activities happen in that particular area. So as we mentioned here, every TPO is already predefined or precise. So it is dependent on the visual graphics of the market profile. This is defined by the individual user. However, for a standardization purpose, for using it in a better way, we made a TPO sized chart. So you can plot market profile for several scripts. Basically, I will take an example of Nifty. Nifty is trading at around 10,800 to 11,000 range. So that generally counts in this range. You can see here the range. And next TPO size is in 0.01 tick size. So for if you are using a Ninja Trader, you have to mention it as 500, provided your tick size is 0.01, and TPO size becomes 5 point. So whatever the script that is trading in the range of 10,000 to 25,000 range, for that we need to select a TPO size of 5 to visualize in a better way. So similarly, all ranges are mentioned here entirely. Based on this, the entire TPO size is already defined. So that definition is given by us. I will show you an example in AmiBroker, the software. Just a sec. So this is the software you are getting. So in this particularly, all TPOs are already predefined. So we can see here, if I click the right click here. So this is the window we get here. I will do it again. Parameter. So in parameter, you can select like candles. There are many options here. If you select a candle, so you will get the candles in the chart, or you can disable the candles. And market profile, you can see it as a lines. So the market profile will be converted as line or solid surface. So you can see the market profile as a solid area. But we want a letter here, so I'm selecting the letters here. Style, just avoid it, no problem. So coming to the type, so I am selecting a price profile here. Price profile is important for us. And here you can see the TPO size I mentioned as 5, because I am using Nifty I, so I am mentioning a TPO size as 5. So you can refer to the TPO size chart to directly enter into the system. If you are using AmiBroker, no need to look at the tick size, so you can directly enter the TPO size that is mentioned over here. So for Nifty, the TPO size is 5. For Bank Nifty, it is trading in the range of 25,000 and above. For that, we are keeping a TPO size of 10. So this is a definable activity by the individual user. So TPO is basically an activity that represents the activity of the market. And now the important concept, how the TPO is constructed. Basically, if you given a 5 point as a TPO size, so let's say market moved by 10 points. So for the 10 point, it will draw 2 letters. provided your TPO size is 5. So when the TPO size is 5, it will draw 2 TPOs, whereas if your TPO size is 1, it will draw 10 TPOs vertically. So that is the concept. Basically, you can see here the width of the letter is basically the TPO size that we are entering in the system. I hope the TPO is clear for everyone. Let's move to the next important concept, that is initial balance range. If you see here, short-term trader is seeking for a fair price. This role is to find a price area where two-sided trade can occur. Sted Miller, the founder of Market Profile, calls this an initial balance area. Generally, initial balance area might be 30 minutes or 1 hour or 2 hours, but to standardize and understand in a better way for Indian markets, we are considering first 1 hour range. I mean, you can see here in the candle, this one is the first 30-minute candle. Sorry. This one is the first 30-minute candle and this is the second 30-minute candle. You can see this is the range of these two candles. That means the first 1 hour range is called as IB range. First 1 hour low and high. So this called as a initial balance range. Based on this, the entire day structure is defined. Basically, the initial balance is the foundation for entire day's range development. Similar to open, there is a mark called as close also. For closing price, we will mark it as hash. Instead of constructing the TPO, we will mention here a hash, or the software mention it as hash in the system. So open and close. If you are using AMI broker, this thing will not be applicable. As I mentioned earlier, open plays a very important role in intraday trading. Based on the open placement, the day's behavior can be decided before even it happens, at least for 60 to 70% of the time. So open relationship with the previous day trading is very important for us to understand. So let's see. So first condition is open within the value. So what is value? Is nothing but the value area high and value area low and POC that is already calculated by the software. So for example, let's say this is today and this is yesterday. If the open is placing, or open is happening within this value area, we call it as a value area. I mean the value area high and value area low. So this entire range becomes the value area of yesterday, considering the example. So this is the yesterday. Market is opening within this value indicates a balanced market. So we can expect a sideways or a flat move in this particular condition as per the concept of market profile. And next condition is open beyond the value or outside the value. It may open here or here, but within the range. We call it as a range here. This is the high of yesterday. This is the low of yesterday, PDH, PDL. So within this market will open, but beyond the value area of yesterday. If the market is opening beyond the value area of yesterday and within the range of yesterday, then we can see a medium imbalanced market. We can call it as a medium imbalanced market. And next condition is open outside the range. What this means? This is the range of yesterday, the PDL and PDH. This is the value. So market opened beyond the range. I mean above the PDH, I mean the previous day high, and this becomes the outside range open. In this condition, market is highly imbalanced. So in this condition, risk is higher and the reward is also higher. Generally, this leads to the huge trend movements most of the time. And when there is an open within the value, we call it as an open auction also. In this particular case, we can expect a sideways or flat move market. In this condition, the risk is less and the reward is also less. When market opens beyond the value and within the range of yesterday, we can expect a medium movements or normal variation days, or the medium movements we can see in the market. In that particular case, risk is also medium and reward is also medium. Now we need to understand the value area high, low, and basically value area parameters. So to understand that, we need to understand the bell curve in the first place. So hope everyone heard about the bell curve in the high school period and after that. So definitely, this indicates the first standard deviation, second standard deviation, and third standard deviation. This suggests that if you collect several data, simple data, in that most of the data will fall under 70% of the area, that is first standard deviation, and after that the probability of falling the second deviation and third deviation is very low. Based on this only, the market profile concept is also designed. In this particular case, we are going to collect the data of entire day activity, that is represented by TPOs, and once the TPOs is constructed, so we will identify the POC, that is the maximum number of activities happened on that particular day, and value area high and value area low. This blue line indicates value area low and this line indicates a value area high. So the entire range of this value area high and low becomes a value area of that particular day, and this is the point of control. And now we will understand PDL and PDH. So this is a short name that we will call we will use it in the future for the most. So this is nothing but the previous day high and previous day low. Generally, previous day value area and previous day high and low plays a very crucial role for the next day of trading. So that means for example, I'm trading today and yesterday's PDH and PDL and VH and VAL and POCs are very crucial levels for me to trade in this particular day. So what is this PDL and PDH? We will see it in the graph. Okay, for example, let's see, this is the today's transaction, I mean the 22nd Jan. So if you see here, I will draw a line. This is the high of yesterday and this is the low of yesterday. So that becomes, this is the PDH and this is the PDL, previous day high and previous day low. We can say it as the range of yesterday also. This is the range of yesterday. So we covered what is TPO and VAH, POC, VAL, IB range, balanced market, imbalanced market, PDH and PDL. Generally, whenever the open happens beyond the value or beyond the range, that becomes an imbalanced market situation. Whenever market opens within the value of yesterday, that becomes a balanced market. TPO is pre-sized or predefined by the individual user for the individual script. Value area high and POC and value area low is calculated by the software, or you can calculate manually based on the activity distribution of that individual particular day. Open, O indicates the open of that individual day or the particular day. We instead of plotting a TPO, so software will plot a O, and closing price will be the hash mark, and IB range is the first 1 hour range, and definitely that will be the foundation for the entire day development. So next concept is market profile construction. We will understand how to construct the market profile by manually, and we will understand the value area and TPOs in the detailed manner in the next lesson. Thank you so much. Hi, welcome back again for lesson 3. In this video, we are going to learn how to construct the market profile manually and how to calculate the values of market profile without the software, and by that we will understand how the market profile is actually constructed. First, let's understand the basic candlestick itself. So this is the Nifty 30-minute candles. Every 30-minute candles here I mentioned as individual letters with the individual alphabets A to M. So we have a 13 sessions considering 30-minute chart, but we will understand how to plot a unsplit profile in the first place. For that, I will utilize Excel sheet here. So this Excel sheet will be given for every one of you. In this case, we have a 13 candles considering the 30-minute of time frame in individual candle. So considering that, we will get 13 candles in the intraday. So basically, individual session, we will call it as a session. The individual 30-minute trading hours is the one session. So for that first session, we will call it as a session, and like that B and C and D, E, F, so total 13 sessions are there considering the 6.5 hour market. So we have a 13 sessions. So first, let's say I'm taking an example of Nifty here. In the first 30-minute, this is the first candle. In the first 30-minute, let's say it has moved overall 20 points from low to high. This is the high of first 30-minute candle, and this is the low of first 30-minute candle. So that movement is 20 points overall. So let's say our TPO size is 5 for the Nifty. So for 20 points movement, if I divide it with by the TPO size that we defined for the Nifty, that is 5, so we'll get around 4 TPOs we need to draw. But where is very important. Let's say in this example, Nifty moved to 10,000 to 10,015 points. That means for 10,000 to 10,005, so it will draw a first letter, and again second letter, third letter, fourth letter. So this is the first scenario. And next condition, so we'll come to the B session. Let's say B session, you can see here, this is the second 30-minute candle. This is the high and this is the low of second 30-minute candle. So that session we will call it as a B. For that, it has moved from B session. The total overall range of the B session is let's say 15 points. In this condition, it has moved from 10,020 to 10,030. This is the range that is developed. So in that condition, I will mention a B here, and again a B here, and B here. Similarly, if I draw like this for entire 30-minute, 13 sessions, we'll get a split profile like mentioned in the presentation. This is the split profile we can see here from first session to last M. M is the last session. So generally in the present market condition, market trading hours, M will be from 3:15 to 3:30. Except M, all the alphabets, all the sessions will be for 30 minutes. So overall, we have a 13 set of alphabets. Based on this, the entire market profile is constructed. Once we know the concept of split profile, now we need to understand the unsplit profile. Based on that only we are going to calculate the major calculations of market profile. So what we are seeing now is the unsplit profile. This one is the split profile. So how unsplit profile is calculated? Unsplit profile is very important because we are going to distribute the entire day activity in one single basement. So we will see how to do that. I'm again using the Excel sheet to demonstrate it. The same set of example, I'm taking another example here. Whatever I showed you, that was an profile. So now let's see how unsplit profile will be calculated. In this example, to understand unsplit profile in a better way, let us consider this line as the reference point, and I'm giving a force from right side, and let us assume all the letters, the split letters are combining together. We will understand that by using the Excel sheet. Let's say if I'm giving the force from this side, B remains here, whatever the B that is not in the reference line, so that will add into the reference line. Similarly, if I have a C letters, so if I given a force from right side, this particular letters will be overlapped over on B, and these particular C letters will be overlapped on C, and C, the remaining single letter, will be overlapped over the B. If again we have a D, in this example, these two letters will be overlapped over here, and it will become here, and D letter, it will push to the reference line. So this is how unsplit will happen. So whatever we have seen in the initial example was split profile, and if I'm giving a force from right side and placing every letter to the reference line, then that becomes an unsplit profile. So we are very clear with the construction of market profile, I mean the split profile and unsplit profile. Let's construct a market profile by using the simple market profile calculator that will be given for every one of you. So this is the sheet we are using here, and in this calculation sheet, we need to enter the every 30-minute high and low, the maximum, high and low. So that's it. So once you enter the value, so every calculation will be calculated here, and the profile will be done here. Once the profile is calculated, I will show you how to calculate the POC, VAH, VAL. So now let's do this exercise by using a chart. I'm using an AMI broker here, a 30-minute chart. You can see here the 30-minute chart. We need a 30-minute chart, high and low. That's why I'm taking 30-minute charts here. And the day is starting from this candle. I'm considering from here. We can see here, just a sec. First 30-minute, we can see the high here. High is 10954, 10954, and low is 10925. So once I given this high and low of first session, you can see here the movement already taken care, and the profile is already generated for first session. And now let's move to the next candle. The high is 10937, 10937, and the low is 10922. We can see that here. I'm seeing that number from here. The high is mentioned here and low is mentioned here. 10922. Just a sec. 10922. So the moment I entered the B high and low, we can see here the B is overlapped. Whatever the calculation is happening here, it is for a unsplit profile. Split profile concept we will not use because we need to calculate the market profile main values, that is value area high, value area low, and point of control. We will see how to do that. Let's enter the values. A third candle, the high is 10937 and the low is 10917 and D session high is 10935 and low is 10922. Like this, we need to enter all the details. I am doing this for giving an example here. High is 10928 low is 10906 10917. Next high is 10917. F session low is 10907 and G is 10913 and the low is 10880. Next, coming to the H session, high is 10916 and low is 10898. And next part 10917 10901 H1. Coming to the H session, so 10934 and the high is low is 10902 and K is 10942. Low is 10921. $939. $916. $942. $0942. And the low is 10918. So this is it. So there are 13 sessions. I entered every session high and low here. The moment I enter the details here, we can see the market profile, unsplit market profile here from here. So this is how we have to draw the market profile, and manually you can see the concept how the market profile is actually being constructed. Once the market profile constructed like this, we need to understand how to calculate the POC. First step is to calculate the POC. What is POC? Point of control, the maximum number of activity happened on that particular day that you are checking here. So in this example, activity, the TPO represents the activity. That means wherever the maximum number of TPOs are there, that becomes the POC of that particular day. In this example, the 925 range, and we can see the moment I entered all the details, the POC is automatically recognized because number of TPOs in this level is high, that is 9 number, that is 16.36% of the entire activity. If you calculate the overall activity here, it will be 100%. Let's summate it actually. If you summarize all the activity of the day, it becomes 100%. In that 100%, 16.3% of the activity happened at 925 level. That's why we will consider this as the POC. I will mark it as yellow. So the moment we entered here, to calculate a value area, we need 70% of the maximum number of activity happened on that particular day. That is the idea behind the value area. And to get this 70%, we have to calculate the value area from POC now. So how do we do that? Means 70% we need, that is the maximum number of activity happened on that particular day. In that, already 16.36% is already consumed in the POC. That means whatever the remaining value I will mention here, in 70%, 16.36% is already consumed. I still need 53% of the activity area to recognize or calculate the value area of this particular day. So 16.36 is already consumed in POC. Now what I will do, I will compare this line and this line. So now I want a maximum number of activity. The moment I identified a POC, I am comparing this and this level. So that is above the first step of above first step of the POC and below first step of the POC. I want to consider here, compare here. And in this particular case, I need to see where the maximum number of activity happened compared to this line and this line. We can clearly say in this line there is a 14.55% of activity compared to this line is containing the maximum amount of activity. That's why I am considering this as a value area high formation. I mean the value area, I am counting this as a value area also, 14.55%. So if I continue the same calculation, I still need 39% of the activity. So let's check similarly. This line is still under pending state. So this line and this line I will calculate here. In this particular case, definitely 935 level is containing the maximum number of activity. So I will select this one to the value area, that is 12.73%. So still I need 26.36%. Let's do the same comparison for the next level, this one and this one. So definitely 920 has the higher number of activity. That's why I'm including this in the value area. That is 9.06%. And still I need a 17%. Again, I'm calculating this and this level. So in that case also the 915 level has the maximum number of activity. That's why I'm including that level in the value area. So that becomes again a 9.09%. 9.09%. Still I need 8.21% of the value. 8.21% need to be consumed to calculate the value area. Again, I will compare this level and this level. Obviously, the 910 level has the maximum number of activity. We have to go step by step here. We don't need to jump to the next level. So we have to go by step by step. So 910 level we'll consider here. That is around 10.91%. So if I draw this to next level, so here my value will be completed because I'm considering 70% of the maximum traded area. So that I have already mentioned the levels here. In this particular area, if you summate it, if you calculate the summation of this area, that becomes 72%, almost close to the 70%. That is what the requirement is. The moment it happened, we got the higher level here and the lower level here. Whatever the higher level is, I will mention it is in red. So that becomes our value area high, and this becomes our value area low. So that is a very simple calculation for today's market. 925 was the POC, 935 was the value area high. Value area high, this is the POC level, and this is the value area low level. So it's very simple. First step is to calculate the POC, the maximum number of activity happened in that particular level, and we need to include that in our 70% consumption. The moment we identified the POC, we need to compare step by step above and below the POC lines, and wherever the maximum number of activity happened, that we need to include in our value area. So like this, we need to do it until our calculation reaches 70%. The moment the 70% of the area is covered, we'll get the high level and the low level. That becomes the value area high and value area low. So overall range becomes the value of today's market. Now let us verify our calculation, whether we have done the right calculation or wrong calculation, by verifying it in software. So 910, 925, 935 is the value area high and low. We can see here 910 is the value area low of today, and 925 is the POC, and 940. So that variations will be there. As per our Excel calculation, it is 935, and as per software, it is 940. That is absolutely acceptable, because the percentage calculation will be varied when considering a software. However, the software calculation will be precise compared to this calculation. So you don't need to calculate the manual values all the time. So for that easier purpose, we have some software, so that will calculate the market profile values. And if you want to know how to calculate the market profile, you can definitely use this calculation chart. Definitely it will help you to understand how to draw the market profile and everything. So the moment you understood, you know how the market profile constructs now. Hi, welcome back again for lesson number 4. In this lesson, we are going to learn initiative and responsive activity. To illustrate these concepts, I am using an example of Royal Enfield here, Royal Enfield bike. Considering I am taking a data of last 1 month transaction, 1 month trading data of this particular bike. So that is 1.2 lakh and 2 lakh. So this is an example values. Considering this, we know the lowest value and highest value of this bike, and the moment we understood this, we know the overall value area of entire transaction of last month. Now, if I want to buy this bike, definitely I would like to buy at 1.2 lakh, because I know as per the historical data, 1.2 lakh is the lowest value or the lower value of the bike. So if I want to sell this bike, I would like to sell at 2 lakh rupees. So that is the basic idea. By understanding the lowest and highest price of the transaction, or by knowing the value area, the moment we understand the value of this bike of last month, now comes the activity or the overall trading activity of the bike, considering the example of this value area. Let's say if I am buying at the low, if I am buying at this level and selling at this level, this particular activity becomes a responsive activity. That means market is unchanged and there is no major change in the market. So definitely the price is trading in the value area. So I would like to buy at the low and I would like to sell at the high. This is the first example, and this activity we call it as a responsive activity in market profile concept. And now comes the initiative activity. So if market opened here above 2 lakh and it is trading in the higher level. So this is the example here. What is happening here is price is trading above the value. So this is the value area, and price is accepting above the value area and it is trading above the value area. This activity we call it as a initiative activity in market profile. Market is accepting and trading above the value area or below the value area. In this example, we can see if the initiative activity happening in the buying, that means above the value area, we can say there is a demand in the market. So people are expecting market to stay above the value area. That's why they are ready to buy at the higher price. That's why price is accepting above the value area, and we can say that is an indication of demand in the market, and this we call it as an initiative activity in the market. Suppose in another example, we can see the market price is trading lower and accepting below the value area low. In this example, we can clearly say there is no demand for the product and people are expecting price to stay below the value area and trade below the value area. That's why they are ready to sell at the lower levels. So generally, compared to responsive activity, initiative activity will be the stronger, will have the stronger conviction in the market, because it says the conviction of the buyer who is buying above the value area or below the value area is selling. Similar to this example, we have a market profile concept also. In market profile, we are taking the 70% of the area where maximum number of activities happen, that we call it as a value area. This one. Let's say this is the yesterday's market profile and this is the yesterday value area and yesterday value area low. In this example, if the market is trading above the value area, that means today's this buying activity becomes the initiative buying activity. And if market is trading below the value area of yesterday and it is accepting below the value area of yesterday, in the sense this selling activity, we call it as a initiative selling activity. In another example, if market is taking a bounce from value area low and it is trading within the value area and people are buying here and selling here and selling here and buying here. So in this example, we call it as a responsive activity. If the buying is happening from value area low and if it is bouncing from value area low, this buying, we call it as a responsive buying. Similarly, if the selling is happening or selling pressure is occurring from value area high, this particular selling we call it as responsive selling activity. I hope initiative and responsive activity is very clear. Let us see some of the charts and let us explore it in the real charts. This is the Bank Nifty chart, a 15-minute chart I'm taking here. We are seeing value area low and value area high lines in the chart. This sky blue line is the value area low and this red one is a value area high, and the green color is POC, point of control of that particular day. In our example, to understand initiative and responsive activity, let us say we can see here in this example, this is the value area high and value area low of the yesterday. I'm saying considering this as today's trading day, any buying activity above the value area of yesterday said to be a initiative buying activity. Any selling activity, let's take an example of the chart itself. Any selling activity, we can see here in this example, this is the value area low and value area high of yesterday, and we can see the selling activity here. Any selling activity that is below the value area low of yesterday becomes the initiative selling activity. Now let's understand the responsive activity in the chart. In this example, we can see this is the value area high and value area low of yesterday, and this is the POC of yesterday. In this example, we are seeing a selling from above the value area high of yesterday. This selling becomes the responsive selling activity. That means any selling that is above the value area of yesterday becomes the responsive selling. Any buying, here we can see the example of responsive buying. This is the value area high and low of yesterday, and the buying activity is happening from below the value of yesterday. This particular activity, this buying activity, is the responsive buying activity. So this is it for initiative and responsive activity. This kind of information is very important while analyzing the intraday trades in the future scenarios. So initiative and responsive activity is the core principle of market profile and auction process. The next activity is day structures in intraday. So there are 5 major day structures in intraday. If you take any example of intraday trade, any script or any day, these day structure are very common. So these 5 day structures are very important in market profile concept. So that we are going to discuss in the next lesson. Hi. Welcome back again for lesson number 5. In this lesson, we are going to discuss about the day structures of market profile and also initial balance analysis in order to anticipate these day structures. There are 5 major day structure categorized in basically the concepts of market profile. Those are normal day, normal variation day, trend day or double distribution day, or neutral day, and non-trend day. So these are the 5 major category of day structures, and individual day structure has its own characteristics with it, and with respect to those characteristics, we have a lot more to plan in terms of intraday. So in the initial step in this particular lesson, we are going to understand after completion of the day structure what kind of day structures has developed. So we should be able to identify that, and also objectively how to analyze the IB range in order to anticipate these day structures. That's the basic purpose of this lesson. Let's understand from the normal day perspective. So this is the normal day and this is how it looks like, and you can see this is the candlesticks formation at the left side, and this is the profile picture of the same day structure. And in this we can see the IB range, the A and B session together, it is an IB range, and you can see after that the entire range of the day has developed within the range. So what are all the key points that has to be taken here? The first one is IB range is large. So please note it. So I'm mentioning it as large. I'm not mentioning the points here, right? So we need to analyze the IB in order to say whether it is a large IB or medium IB or small IB. So that we will be covering in the second section of this particular video. So please watch the complete video to get the full clarity. So the second key point is range develops within the IB range. So as I said, after formation of the second session, so which is IB range, after formation of the IB range, the entire sessions has formed within the first 1 hour range. That's what it means. If you are able to see any day structure, the entire day within the formation of the IB, then we can call it as a normal day. And the third key important point is probability of occurrence. So what is the probability of occurrence? Let's take 100 trades or 1000 trades in the past history, and if I say the day structure development, in that we can only find 5% of the day structures as normal day. That's what I call it as a probability of occurrence. Out of 100 trades, there is only probability of occurrence of this particular day structure for 5%, which means 5 trades. And when it comes to the last important key point, which is a conviction. So when I say conviction, the directional conviction of the OTF players or other time frame players. In this particular day structure, whenever there is a probability of normal day structure, the conviction, directional conviction of the OTF is low. Let's now move on to the next day structure, which is normal variation day, and a very important day structure in market profile concepts, because the probability of occurrence, you can see here the probability of occurrence of this day structure is 55%, which means out of 100 trades, you are going to face this day structure for 55 times on an average. So that is the probability of occurrence of this particular day structure. Hence, it is very important to understand this day structure in a very clear way. So the first important key point of this day structure is medium IB range. So in the normal day, it was a large IB range. Whenever there is a medium IB range after formation of the IB, if we can see the medium IB range, then there is a probability of normal variation day. That's what it means. And the second key point is the first key point, and second key point, IB range extends in one direction by 80% of IB. What it means? Let's say this is the IB here, and you can see in this particular candle, it has broken the IB range, which means the range started to extend downside of the IB. And after that, it has not returned to the IB high. And again, market traded in a lower side. This is range extension or the IB extension in one direction. It may be positive or it may be negative. In this particular case, range extended in the negative side, we can call it as a negative normal variation day. Suppose after formation of the IB, market extends its range above the IB, then we can call it as a positive normal variation day. And in this particular case, the second important characteristic which needs to be understood here is at the level of concept of book or the theoretical value says 1x or the one time of IB extends in one direction. But when it comes to the practical approaches, most of the times the IB range extends by 80% of the IB. For example, let's say this is an IB range here. Let's say we have a 100 point of IB here. There is a probability once it starts to extend below here, there is a probability of extending another 80% of this IB point, which is 80 points below the IB low. That's what it means. So I'll repeat again. Whenever there is a medium IB range, there is a high probability of normal variation there. And second important thing is range extends in any one direction by 80% of the IB. As I already explained, probability of occurrence is very high in this particular day structure, which is 55%. And then comes the conviction. Directional conviction of the OTF is medium. So there is a directional conviction point as well, which needs to be noted here. This is a very important day structure. And now next move on to the very interesting day structure, which is trend day. All of us love the trend day and we want to participate and hold the trade till the end of the day. So when it happens, basically the probability of occurrence, you need to understand that in the first place. These are the key points of trend day. The first point, we need to understand the probability of occurrence. Out of 100 trades, there is only probability of getting 20 trades of trend day. That's it. You cannot expect out of 100, you cannot expect 50 or 60 trades as a trend day. Only 20% is the probability of occurrence. But the reward ratio, risk to reward ratio in this particular day structure is very high because of the conviction of the OTF player. What conviction? Conviction level is very high here. So once the range extends in one direction, here also the range extends in one direction with a lot of conviction, and most of the time that price tend to close at the day's peak. For example, in this case, market broken here. In this particular case, it has broken the IB low, and you can see market closed at the peak, right? So similarly, in this particular example, this is a negative trend day. If market extends positive and it starts to trade in one direction, then we can call it as a positive trend day. When it comes to the IB range analysis, so in this particular case, it's a small IB range. So I will give a context here. Let's say tomorrow, if you see the small IB range, right? So you can expect a trend day tomorrow. But there are certain rules or certain methods to avoid it or consider it. So that we're going to discuss in the upcoming sessions or the lessons. So second point is the range extension or the IB range extension in one direction by 2x of IB, which means as the conviction is high here, whenever there is a small IB, market tend to extend in one direction by 2 times of IB, which means let's say we have a 50 points of IB here, 50 points of IB here, we can expect another 100 point extension from the IB low. That's what it means. If it is a positive NV day, obviously above IB high, you can expect another 100 points of extension. That's what's the meaning of 2x of IB extension. And then comes the probability of occurrence is 20% and the conviction is very high in this particular day structures. Now move on to the non-trend day here. So in this particular case, you need to understand the second part of it. So here also the small IB. So the first characteristics of non-trend day is also a small IB, right? And we can clearly say that whenever there is a small IB range, there is a high probability of getting non-trend day and trend day, either a trend day or a non-trend day. How to differentiate it? Don't worry about it. We are going to discuss about that in the upcoming lessons. Second important key point here is range extends both sides of the IB, which means when IB forms, market extends above and also below on the same day structure. Then we can call it as a non-trend day. Small IB, range extension in both the side of IB, and then comes the probability of occurrence is only 5%. So there is a saying for this particular day structure. The probability of getting these day structures prior to any major events like Fed rate or budget days or anything like that, any major events with respect to financial market. So if we see the small IV range just prior to that event, we can expect a non-trend day. In that particular case, the high probability of non-trend day is very high. And last comes the conviction. Conviction part is very low. As I said, the range extends in both sides of the IV and there is no directional conviction in terms of the OTLs. Now let's move on to the last, and this is also an important day structure. This is a neutral day. So we can see it's a medium IV range, which is the first key point. And now we can say whenever there is a medium IV range, there is a probability of getting neutral day or a normal variation day. How to differentiate it? We will understand it in a further lessons. Range extension both side of IV. As the characteristics of non-trend day, in neutral day also range extends both side of the IV. And the third important key point is probability of occurrence. Out of 100 trades, we can expect around 12 to 15 trades as neutral day structures. And then last point, which is conviction level. As I said, as range extends both sides of the IV, obviously conviction is very low. Well, so this is about the day structures. As I said, I'll just give a final review of it. So there are 5 important day structures: normal day, normal variation day, trend day or the double distribution day, and neutral day and non-trend day. Whenever there is a large IV range, we can expect a normal day. Whenever there is a medium IV range, we can expect a normal variation day or the neutral day. Or whenever there is a small IV range, we can anticipate or expect a trend day or non-trend day. If the small IV range occurs just prior to any major events, we can expect a non-trend day. So this is about the day structures. These are basic day structures. I know you are going to get a lot of doubts at the particular stage because I said small IV, right? So you are not getting what small IV is, how to identify the small IV range or how to identify the medium IV range before it occurs. You have a lot of queries now or you have a lot of doubts now. For that, we are going to analyze the IV range analysis. So in this case, we are going to analyze the IV range in a detailed way. So basically this analysis is done to identify whether the formed IV range is medium or small or big or the large. So let's now shift to the chart now. So I want to use the chart from now onwards. So please be focused until the completion of this entire video. This is a very important session out of all the sessions. So this is a very important lesson. So let's now move on to the chart now.